Welcome to Bay Focus. Thank you so much for tuning in today. I love the show we're doing today because we have two organizations on today that are working in the community, making a difference in people's lives. In just a few minutes, you're going to meet representatives of family support services that work really strongly in the foster care system in our area, and also come along families in a lot of other areas. But before we go to them, there's an area that I really enjoy highlighting here on Bay Focus because it's so important, and that's the fight with mental illness, to come alongside of people that are struggling with mental illness. We're so honored today to have an organization called Vincent House that works to help people and to come alongside those that are living with mental illness. Let's take a look at Vincent House.
1 in 4 people are living with a mental health condition. So that means someone you know, even if they're not talking about it, is dealing with a mental illness.
There's no reason we shouldn't be treating mental illness like any other healthcare issue in the world.
Our daughter's life was a disaster. We went to program after program.
Probably had 20 hospitalizations within the first few months that she was diagnosed with a mental illness.
Many places have no mental health care system whatsoever, so it's an urgent humanitarian crisis. That's the state of mental illness in the world.
For 6 years, we tried to find services for her, and there just wasn't anything out there that really could rehabilitate her.
We eventually realized that no one else is going to do this unless we do it. And that's when we met Clubhouse International.
We were excited, we were in tears, we knew this is what we had to do.
Clubhouses help people living with mental illness directly.
Who wants to do it? Raise your hand. Taylor.
Clubhouse International's role is to help those clubhouses be as strong and as sustainable as they can be.
We are in over 30 countries. We have over 300 clubhouses worldwide. You have a whole global network behind you to support, to encourage you.
We are able to talk to people from many countries. We have people that can help us and we can help them.
We are at Clubhouse International, a collection of best practices. We bring the collective resources and support of the entire worldwide Clubhouse community to one individual clubhouse.
They're really the glue that keeps Clubhouse culture together, Clubhouse International.
The Clubhouse model helps me fulfill my dreams as a published writer.
We've had members that went off and got permanent jobs after going through transitional. They have children, they have a home, they've got a business.
This is not typical of what you see in a mental health program. People are not sitting off in a corner being warehoused. There is life, there is action, there is activity, there is recovery that's taking place here.
We envision a world where a clubhouse is as commonplace as a YMCA or a Boys and Girls Club.
One of our members said, "Thank you so much for starting the Clubhouse. It really changed our life." And I said, "I'm going to let you in on a secret. This has changed our life."
Well, that gives you just a little glimpse look at what Vincent House does. And you just saw this gentleman on the video that is with us today in the studio. We're so honored to have Elliot Steele, who is the co-founder of Vincent House, with us. Welcome, Elliot, to Bay Focus.
Thank you, darling. We're honored to be here,
Just so great to have you. And you know, I've driven by the Pinellas Park location so many times on what you do, but you have other locations as well for Vincent House. Tell us about those.
We do. We have one in Hernando County. It's in the Government Center West. We're still renting there. And that opened up 7 years ago, and we became internationally accredited up there. And then we have one in Pasco County in Hudson on Denton Avenue. And that's been operating for 3 years.
Okay. All right. That is great to know from our viewers that live in those areas.
Right.
That want to access what you provide. And that is what we want to talk about. We saw in the video a little bit about a clubhouse model. You're connected with an organization, Clubhouse International, I believe. But what is your mission? I know what are you trying to accomplish to help people with mental health?
What we try to accomplish is to give people the ability to find a purpose in life. They voluntarily come to Vincent House and they participate in different activities. We have a commercial kitchen, we have a bank, we have graphic arts, we do data processing, And this is all things that we do for the clubhouse. It's not anything for outside. And what people do is they come there just like a person that maybe had a stroke or a heart attack that went to physical therapy and walked on that uneven sidewalk, build their stamina, self-esteem, self-confidence, and then went back to work and were successful. This is the place for people with a mental illness to go and do that, walk on that uneven sidewalk, build their stamina, self-esteem, and self-confidence by practicing work and building relationships in Vincent House.
Now, where, I want to ask you, is this a clinical treatment facility, or are you partnering with actual licensed and psychiatrists, et cetera?
We get referrals from psychiatrists and therapists, and but we're a wellness model. We're holistic. We help our people with any issues they may have. And in addition to, if we identify that they may need to go see their doctor again, we advise them to go see the doctor. You think of how we operate, it's like a work order day, an 8-hour work order day, mirrors the community. So when a member comes in and participates at Vincent House, it gives them the opportunity to practice an 8-hour day. Maybe some of them only do 4 hours, 3 hours, whatever the case may be in the beginning, but eventually we try to encourage them to come for the full day.
That's a really important point, because for so many people that are struggling with, mental health issues, illness, and I'm sure you hit the spectrum
Absolutely,
of conditions. Just functioning on a day-to-day basis would be difficult.
Absolutely.
So you have staff and volunteers or peer support? How do you work with them?
We have staff, and our staff they have degrees, they have bachelor's degrees, some in psychology. In the beginning, we had one with a law degree, and my wife with veterinarian. We have someone with theater. But the whole philosophy is to be able to engage members, believe in the fact that anyone who comes through the door can rehabilitate. Anyone who comes through the door can get their life back. They can get their dreams back, rebuild friendships, and get back working.
Yeah, that's just it's almost like become productive members of society. I don't know, this is a loaded question. Is the goal to work towards curing or getting people to manage?
Well, there is not a cure for mental illness, as you well know. It's a chronic illness. However, you can get people to be able to stabilize. First, they're stabilized through medications to a certain point, but then there's got to be a next step. And that's what, as parents, we saw as we needed to bring the next step here. And that was the Clubhouse model. That's why we left our careers and advocated for 3 years to get it here. Finally, we opened. But basically, it's to invite people to come in voluntarily and start building the relationships and getting them back to work.
Well, sometimes you hear the terms recovery, but that's not really what this is not like a substance abuse addiction or anything like that. This is literally something people are living with this and need to learn to manage it. But this Clubhouse idea is where they have it gives them a sense of belonging, correct?
Right, yeah.
Like
it's an intentional restorative community is really the best way to define it. Started in 1948. And over the years, it's grown, and we've, like you said, we're international. We've got over 330 in the world in 30 different countries.
And you saw this and we saw in the video your personal story of needing this in your own family,
right?
To have something like this. But how many years now have you been doing this with Vincent House?
Well, Vincent House has been a little over 21 years.
Wow.
But we've been advocating for mental health services for the past 30 years, since our daughter was diagnosed 30 years ago.
It took you a while to realize that you had to be proactive yourself.
Right. And unfortunately, our daughter lost some opportunities during the time of not having something like Vincent House to participate in. We got young people in that are newly diagnosed. Early intervention is so important. And many get off their benefits if they were on. Some don't go on benefits because they end up getting a career, and it's amazing when you see how it works.
You're seeing some real success stories.
Right.
You have been considered a success story. I know you've gotten various awards, but you've also gotten the Community Hero Award from the Tampa Bay Lightning. How cool is that?
We were very thrilled to get that. It was a real honor, and we're very thankful to the Lightning Foundation and the Vinnick Family Foundation for that. That was great to get that.
which brings me to, how do you do all this? This is, you provide a number of services. And you no doubt need support to do this.
Yes, we definitely need support. 70% of our budget right now is state and federal funding.
Yeah.
We do some vocational rehabilitation, which brings some other funds in, but basically the rest is done through grant writing and fundraising. And we had a annual breakfast of hope, and we operated that until we retired. And then now we're starting some other different types of annual fundraising.
Yeah. Well, if you were, so in other words, if our viewers are watching today, they can contribute.
Absolutely.
Yeah. What would be some of the best ways they could help you?
They could go on to vincenthouse.org is our website, and we do advertise discovery tours. We invite the public to come in one day a week. It's on a Tuesday in Pinellas. I think it's on a Wednesday up in Pasco and Hernando, but they can come for 1 hour. It starts at 10:30. And it's over at 11:30. They'll meet one of our board members. They'll meet the director there and our executive director, who's in charge of all 3 of the clubhouses. And then they'll go on a tour and they'll meet members. They'll hear testimonials from the members. They'll see our statistics as far as employment and that. And then they're encouraged to, if they have an interest in helping in any way they want, and if they have any family members that could use the services. And we found a lot of people that came through the Discovery Tour that said, you know, my brother could use this place, or my sister, or my son or daughter. And eventually we got them in, and it's a miracle the way you see the rehabilitation.
So when you say that, and I think you mentioned before we did, there's some other people that have just come in. It's not always just referrals from clinical treatment. It's just people that just need
community.
The services.
Absolutely.
In general.
Yeah, exactly. Community, we invite the community to come in. And a lot of times employers come in because part of our stepwise rehabilitation is first volunteering in Vincent House to build their stamina. And then we do transitional jobs in the community, which is a time-limited job with an employer. Serrata Beach Resort has hit over 65 of our members have gone through that step in rehabilitation, 6 to 9 month transitional job. And when they leave, we put another member in there. Public Defender's Office, over 50 people have gone through that. But we've had jobs at like Raytheon Corporation and
I love
many
that.
other places. Yeah.
Connection with the corporate. All right, we're running out of time, but you've all mentioned sometimes people have just been homeless that needed the mental health
Right, absolutely.
treatment. Now, you know, and I say treatment, I mean treatment, just the sense of the clubhouse, the whole model
Right,
of belonging, of just a step up. You're giving them a step up, giving them an opportunity.
right.
This is awesome. Elliot, thank you so much
Oh, you're very
for
welcome.
coming on the show today. And I know that you are doing an amazing, amazing thing. This clubhouse model was so innovative to me when I looked and researched this.
Right.
Thank you so much. And I know those of you watching, you may know of someone that would benefit from Vincent House getting involved, or you might be able to just go do this, you know, tour, like he said, take a look at what they do. But support them any way that you can. And we're going to show you on the screen how you can contact Vincent House, and we'll be right back with more of Bay Focus. Well, we're back with more of Bay Focus, and we want to talk with Family Support Services right now. And that is exactly what they do. But they are, of course, known to maybe some of you as a premier agency in the area, working with foster care as well. But they do so much more as well. And we have with us today to talk with us is Octavius Davis, who is the Director of Community Engagement, Recruiting, and Grants for Family Support Services. Thank you so much for joining us today, Octavius.
Absolutely.
And next to you is Katie McElroy, who is Director of Licensing and Kinship for Family Support Services. And I want to welcome you. But I want to also mention that both of you are connected with the Pasco and Pinellas the county locations, because it is statewide. We have some other counties as well that it's in, but we're going to focus on the Pasco and Pinellas. And I want to start, Octavius, because some of our viewers may not even know, what does Family Support Services do?
Absolutely. Well, I think we should start with what our mission is.
Yeah.
And our mission is to be the leader in providing safety, stability, and quality of life for all children by working with the community to strengthen the family unit. Now, that sounds real pretty, but what does that mean?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So we do that in very specific ways. So you mentioned foster care. You know, that's one of those instances where it's no longer safe for the child to remain at home. The child is removed and then put in temporary placement with a foster parent. Then there are adoptive parents, adoptive families. That's when a child comes into foster care, the parents' parental rights have been terminated, and now that child is looking for another safe, stable home. But then family preservation, strengthening the family unit. Well, we have a department for family stability. That's the ideal situation, to not have to remove the child, but rather help to strengthen that family unit. And that's what is mentioned in our mission statement, where we work with the community to provide those services for the family.
Yeah, and all of that is a big undertaking, and you provide support, caregiver support, training when needed, a variety of things. You help with the teens, all the different aspects of it. And we want to focus a little bit now, because I know some of you may be really interested in this, and hope many of you watching, we're going to kind of target a little bit more on the foster care side of what you do. And before we talk to Katie, Octavius, you're one of the big things you do is recruitment. That's the first step, right?
Absolutely. We recognize that not everyone is called to be a foster parent. However, there are some people who do believe they've been called to be a foster parent. So for those individuals, we want to start out by providing them information. It's best to make certain that you can make an informed decision. So we hold foster information sessions where we're able to prepare potential foster parents with what that road is going to look like. It's not going to be easy, but it is definitely worth it if you believe that this is a path that you've been called to go down. So we provide information not only about what the necessary steps are, but most importantly, what the support systems are that are in place to ensure that a foster parent can foster a child successfully.
Well, and you know, and then another next step on that too, Katie, that you're very involved in, there's a process on even getting licensing and things done for families. To explain that to us.
Sure, absolutely. It's definitely takes a little bit of time. You get to know the person that you're working with, but as Octavius mentioned, it starts very first at that foster informational session. Learning more information, determining if this is the right path for you, adoption or foster care. And so if foster care is that option and your family's able to make that commitment, the next step is paperwork, of course, and some screening to make sure that we do some of that preliminary things, so we don't get to a point where somebody's gone through the process and maybe is not something that's good for their family. So then they would take that next step in entering into the pre-service classes. So we have trainers who teach about parenting children in the system. It's not telling you how to parent or trying to steer you from your current parenting techniques, but it's really just to inform and learn a little bit more about the system of care and those trauma-related pieces, because Octavius mentioned that the trauma really comes from being removed from your family, from your siblings, and so helping our families to prepare for some of those behaviors that could happen or learn some techniques to manage maybe some of those child's trauma responses.
And I can tell you, as a father of 5, listening to some of our training, I'm like, you know what? I could have benefited from that, because as a parent, kids don't oftentimes come with a book or a manual. And so when I think about my own parenting experience and many of the things that I've learned with helping my kids deal with any trauma they may have experienced, imagine how that trauma may be compounded for kids that are coming into the foster care system. So the trainings are phenomenal.
Well, and when you're saying all these things, if somebody's watching and, well, does this training, does this go on for like a year? Or, I mean, really, what is
that training like? So essentially it's about 4 weeks. It actually happens 2 nights a week. And then as an additional support, we feel it's very important to equip our caregivers with those techniques, those tools. So we also have added like a trust-based relational intervention component, which is really helping that caregiver to develop techniques that work to essentially not create any more trauma with children that have been removed. So it's about 4 weeks, 3 nights a week, and 3 hours at a time. So essentially about 30 to 35 hours of training during
Well, that's
that 4
actually
weeks.
doable to me. When I'm hearing that,
Yeah.
you know, if this is something you really want to look at. I want to address one thing. It's early on, because you guys work with both fostering and adopting, but you have a saying here, foster to adopt is not a thing.
Yeah.
Explain that.
That is a very common misconception where we'll have people that say, okay, well, I want to foster to kind of get my feet wet to see if it's something that I really want to do. But once I become a foster parent, my goal is to then adopt the child. And what we're seeking to do is help people to understand that fostering and adoption are two separate experiences altogether.
Yeah.
Those who believe that they've been called to foster, we want to definitely prepare them for that journey. For those who believe that they've been called to adopt, that's separate from fostering. We want to also prepare them for that journey. But fostering to adopt, that's a myth. That's not something that we promote. And so helping people to understand the differences between those two journeys is what we seek to do.
And because it's really important, you know, again, the goal many times is to get families intact, to bring them back together, reunification on the foster side. But one thing you do some community events. We're going to show some pictures. I don't know which one of you wants to.
Sure.
You're actually out there in the community. You celebrate some events, some adoptions, various things. What kinds of things are you doing? I know we're going to see a picture of the mayor of St. Petersburg, so he's involved in something.
Absolutely. Well,
What do y'all
April
do?
is Child Abuse Prevention Month.
Yeah.
And so during the month of April, one of the things that we have what's known as the manicure movement. And so the thought process is our goal is to get men willing to paint one fingernail blue. And what that represents is 1 in 5 children who experience child abuse. So bringing that awareness. Well, the mayor of St. Pete was kind enough to paint his nail blue to help us in that supporting effort. Other things that we do as well is we seek to bring normalcy to kids that are in the foster care system. So that's helping them be prepared with back to school supplies. That's our Christmas holiday gift giving program where we provide toys for all of the kids that are in the foster care system. But then one of the amazing events that we do, now again, I want to separate, this is specifically for adoption. We've partnered with the Tampa Bay Rays for a home run for the holidays event, which is absolutely phenomenal. It's a massive adoption ceremony where various circuit court judges come, facilitate these services. Tampa Bay Rays as well as Enchant. It's a beautiful experience, and it's probably been the pinnacle of my child welfare experience so far.
I absolutely love that, and we're showing some that. You know, I want to say something here. Sometimes you hear some difficult stories sometimes with foster care and struggles and various things, but Family Support Services is having some really amazing success. A 35% reduction in the number of children in out-of-home care since January 2022. That's down to 1,715 children from 2,670 in January 2022. For each of the last 15 months, more children have exited the system of care to permanency than have entered the child welfare system. That's amazing. And nearly 270 adoptions in the past 6 months. I knew this would happen. We are running out of time, but I want you to address the fact that this is an opportunity for our viewers that are Christ followers in particular, that are Christians out there, and faith in action. How do you see fostering as that? And it can be from all faiths. Anybody watching too.
Absolutely.
The idea that you had this desire to change a life.
Certainly, and that's one of the things that our team is very focused on. So volunteering is an option. Donating is an option. Maybe you enjoy cooking meals. Our foster families would love to be able to have a meal provided for them and their families, because between working and caring for kids and then also having to prep a meal, that can go a very long way. But an additional way that people can support as well, you may have connections and resources throughout the community where you can lend us an opportunity to come and do lunch and learns, to educate more people on how they can be a part in helping us with our kids in care.
Well, that's one of the things that, Katie, I'll let you respond to this in our closing moment here. There's ways to, he just mentioned all these things. Not everybody that if you've worked through the training, worked through it, discover who's called to this or not, they don't always have to be the foster parent, but they can come alongside?
Absolutely. Any support that can be provided, and even offering to take the kids out to a park, or
I love that.
just being a babysitter, which is something our families desperately need. Any support we can wrap around them really helps them to be able to do the best they can for these children, and help create, as Octavius mentioned, some sort of normalcy in day-to-day functioning for what they've just been removed from, and in a new setting. So anything that families can do to just support and piggyback off of, just helping families in need is so important.
And, I know one of the things too, and this is a whole nother topic, and we've had a number of organizations on this show too that are trying to also fill the gap for children that age out, of the foster care system, that become young adults. Then what do you do? Fortunately, there are some services and things that are coming up now, and groups that are coming to help that group as well. But you are really trying to target the families when these kids, and there is an average age, right, that you're dealing with?
No, it ranges, from infants all the way up to those 17, almost 18-year-olds when it comes to the children we serve.
For foster care, I guess I saw an age somewhere. Children who become available for adoption in the foster care system are generally between 8 and 17 years old.
Yeah.
So for those that are just trying to adopt a baby,
Right.
They're looking. Some of these kids have been in the system for a while, and they need a real family, a forever home. Thank you both for coming on today, and stay tuned. On the screen, you're going to see how you can contact Family Support Services. This is one of those areas that, we can really come alongside and provide some stability and safety, a safety net, and work towards maintaining families. I hope you'll get involved. Here's how you can connect with Family Support Services, and we'll be right back. Well, I hope you've enjoyed today's program. 2 community organizations that are meeting the needs of people so needed. Vincent House, helping people work through their mental health and managing mental illness and bringing them into a wonderful environment and a clubhouse mentality. I hope you'll connect and support with Vincent House and Family Support Services on the cutting edge here in our area with foster care. I hope you'll get involved with them. Thank you for tuning in. Connect with me here at Bay Focus. We will see you next week. God bless you.